So I got one package, which I was expecting, but then this showed up. What is it? Rubber feet going here. So now you take two of these 45mm ones with the 8mm washers, and then two of these 40mm things. And then we can take the leg bone and connect it to the base bone. And that can just go through there. Now these ones can go in here. And those will lock the height once we set it. And this goes on with these M8 20mm with 8mm washers. And an M8 nut. And lastly, same with this side. Now we can raise this up a bit. And this arm can go on 35mm M8 with an M8 washer. Pop that right in there. And an M8 nut. Again, 35mm M8 bolt, M8 washer, and M8 nut. Now we can take this piece for the shifter, or in this instance I'm going to be using it for the handbrake. So M6 by 16, M6 washer through here, in here, and again, and into this one. Now we can take this and add the rubber feet. These can go on with these holes going lengthwise with it. Now I want to use a 20mm M8 washer. Put that in. Take one of these weird little square things, and that goes on the bottom. And then same thing on this side. Now we can just repeat with this side. Okay, I think that's right. Now this piece is already installed out of the box, but that uses the exact same things. 20mm M8 with an M8 washer, and then M8 nut. And we can slide it together. And I just need these little 15mm M8 handles. Now over to this side. The two 15mm M8 handle bolts. Okay, that was the most challenging part. Now we can just take the last 15mm handle bolts, put them in, and it's done. Now I just got to get the seat installed. So now the chair is assembled. I just have it sitting on there right now. This chair, X rocker, whatever. Best Buy was having a huge sale on chairs. So this was normally $400 and it was on sale for $180. So it was literally less than half price for this chair. Now, one thing, I don't know if I want these armrests on here. So we're gonna have the pedals, steering wheel. I don't think I really need the armrests. I'm probably gonna take them off, but it just makes it harder to get in and out. This should be like easy enough, I think, maybe. I just have to make sure these rails are actually gonna reach, otherwise I'm gonna have to make a bracket for it. Because these holes right here are where you would normally attach that base over there, which attaches to the wheels, because this is a computer chair. So now these holes here are where it would be attaching, and it is too small. So you can see this one here lines up, but the rear one doesn't. So we can get the rear to line up, but not the front. So I need to make a hole right here. Okay, that's simple enough. So I brought the base for the seat because that's going to have the proper spacing that we need. I brought the two little bracket things. And now I'm going to bolt one side of this to the seat bracket. That way we can kind of figure out the spacing that we need. So now we can just move these rails as far out as they go. We just need to measure the distance between this section here to make sure this section is the same. And I have no idea where my tape measure is, so I'm just going to use this. So we're gonna go from there, so it has to go out just a little bit. Yeah, that's totally probably very precise. Now we can just mark the hole and take it apart. Make a little center mark. And let's just start drilling a hole and work our way up. Now we can move up. New hole made, right in line with the edge. No burrs or anything. Perfect. One done. So back to destroying my living room. But now I can put these bolts in. Now I'm going to want to snug that up so if I move it, it's going to stay in the position that I move it in. Since these holes here don't have any kind of adjustment and they're as far out as they can be, I want these ones to match. Now I'd be totally fine trusting my judgment of measuring, but I also measured this with a hammer. It is exactly 7.5 from the inside to the inside. So, oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Apparently measuring with a hammer is a pretty good idea. Who'da thunk? Okay, that's it. Now I just gotta figure out how to actually put this on. Now this is gonna be sitting perfectly horizontal, so I might actually want to add a little bit of angle by using offset holes. Try and give the chair just a little bit more angle so you're actually sitting in it rather than sitting completely flat like you would with a computer chair, because cars have a little bit of a tilt to hold you in. So this bracket here that goes on the side is what I was talking about with the adjustment. The chair's now angled back, so you have much more tilt. This one right here would be completely level. And this is gonna bring the back down a little bit, and then that's the maximum adjustment. Let's try that. The bottom of the seat actually has a nice angle to it. Okay, now I just have to attach it to here, and then I can tighten everything up. Oh, wow. That literally couldn't fit better. There's actually no adjustment. It has to go as far as it can toward the middle. Wow, it's like it was almost designed specifically for how this chair fits. Aside from the one bolt hole that I had to drill, this is almost like a complete perfect match setup. We'll start with the hard ones, because then when I'm about ready to off myself, I'll only have a couple more that I gotta do. There we go. I threw some of the other parts on it just to kind of get like a more full look. Essentially $150 for the rig, and then $180 for the chair. So that's $330, which isn't even $260 US. So I couldn't be more happy with like how this came out, the cost of it. The only thing is I definitely got what I paid for. So these little areas here, that's for adjusting like the length of this. This is fully extended right now. That is as big as it can go. This part right here, that is as high as it can go. It can't go like any further away from the seat. And it's pretty small. Like you can see that my arms definitely extend way past the steering wheel. Like if I recline the chair to a point where now my eye level is at the top of the wheel, my wrists touch the top of the wheel properly, which is terrible seating posture. I'm gonna have to extend this. I'm gonna have to make it longer, but luckily, because it's just square stock, I can just go buy a really long piece and then just cut longer lengths that I need and just replace those pieces with the full length that I need to push the front of this further out. Now, as for the height of this, because it is still really low, I don't know if it's just those like handle bolts or whatever, but like it moves like a lot. Like that's fully tight. And it's kind of hard to see, but this isn't moving. Like that's staying there. It's moving in here. Like that's how much play it has in between the square stock and the brackets on the side that's supposed to hold it. Now I've seen some other ones online and they actually have a vertical mount going all the way up. So what I'm thinking is when I pick up some square stock, so that'll fit perfectly within here, and then I can put a weld on each side to hold it in. Then I can do the same up here, and hopefully that will fix some of this, because that wobbles around a lot. Like the entire point of me getting this was to make it more stable, because the homemade rig that I was using, that I got the wheel and pedals with, the issue for me is that when I'd throw the wheel, it would shake the whole thing and the legs would come up off the ground. In some like spirited driving, if I throw it, it still shakes to the point where it would rattle around and actually move those plates. The whole point of this was to get something more sturdy, and that's not really the case. Another thing worth mentioning is this bracket right here for a shifter, obviously for a shifter. Like it doesn't fit this, and it has like a lot of flex, but it's just worth noting that a handbrake does not bolt up to this. The bolt holes and everything don't line up. I got a bag of hardware still for the pedals because I still have to finish those. Those are literally just sitting with tape right now just for the spacing so I could get the pedals the right distance away. Basically, at this point, this is done. I'm content with it. I'm still waiting on more parts to finish it up, so I'm not even using it right now. You can see I still have all the cables and everything wrapped up. But right now, this is a $330 racing simulator, but I'm just talking about the racing cockpit, like the rig, the seat, Nothing else. Because once you get into all of the other equipment and the parts that I'm still waiting for, I'm almost at $1,000 Canadian for everything that was put into this. So that's a more realistic price point on where you should expect to be. If you like driving simulator stuff, I'm going to be posting significantly more videos. There's going to be a lot of stuff about this coming. And I only have my giant bro truck, and that thing gets like 8 miles per gallon. Considering it's about $200, $250 to fill that tank up, and I go about 400, maybe 450 kilometers on a tank. This is a cheaper solution to having some fun driving. And you know, I'm going to be investing a lot more time into this. So hopefully you found something useful. Subscribe if you haven't, or don't do any of it. I'm not telling you what to do.